Brandi Burkhardt, Georgia Media for Sports and Hip Hop with DJ Mad Max, Live 265, iHeartRadio, Mad Max Radio, as you all know. She's got the new single out, Magic, available on all platforms. She's got the upcoming EP, October 17th, dropping on all platforms. Friendship, go check out the movie, A24. Welcome to the show. How's everything going?
Thanks so much. I'm excited to be here. Did you wear that hat in my honor?
Yeah, I did. Plus,
You
I do
did?
like the Orioles and I like the Mets, but I used to go to Baltimore a lot when I was younger to like Discovery and stuff like that, and
Oh,
so I
nice.
always liked the Orioles. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. I'm actually singing the anthem for them in July.
Oh wow. Yes, I'm sure you're looking forward to it.
Oh, it's going to be fun. Everybody's coming out for it. It's going to be a hot one though. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna try not to melt.
Yeah. It's just this Friday. That's yeah, a few days. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Congratulations on that. That's big.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm really excited.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you'll give them the motivation to start winning some games here. I know it's been
Oh,
rough, so.
I know it's been a rough one.
Yeah. So why don't we get right into the EP because this is you kind of had the piano lessons and playing piano when you were younger. I did my research on the background with everything. So when did you really want to decide to go forth and pursue making the EP here with music?
Well, music's always been a part of my life. I think I was just like a little bit of a late bloomer, honestly. I've been very shy my whole life, and I had a record situation when I first moved to New York, and was in kind of a bad management situation deal, like as as they go. And I never wound up releasing any of that music, and so. When Friendship was coming out, I thought, wow, I have all this music that I've been making over the last couple of years that I've never shared with anybody. And I said, I think now's the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's well worth the wait. And I've seen that you've done some previous things as well with Christmas music. I saw that you've had the experience of doing that. So, is this because I was doing my research on the title? Is it still what you were calling it previously? Because I didn't see it on the press kit, so I don't know if I should say the title. Do you want to
Oh,
reveal
the
the
just
title?
like this?
Yeah, yeah, that's what it is. So
Yeah.
it's still the same. Okay.
Yes, yes, it is. I wrote all of these songs individually, and I never realized that they kind of all kind of go together, and uh, and then it became kind of like a song cycle, is what it feels like to me. They're all different parts of my life, but kind of telling the same story that I've been going through.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of cool to be able to express myself in this way and to introduce myself to people, not as a character, but as myself.
Is this something that you kind of been wanting to do for a while because you've been so immersed into the Broadway stage and into the acting? Is this something that you've been wanting to do for a long time and it's kind of been difficult because is it more of being afraid to take the leap to do music or because you're so used to doing acting and it's like this is how I'm going to get a lot of my notoriety and work is from acting?
Well, when something hits, you kind of got to go with it because
Hmm.
it's just such a blessing when something works out, and I've been so blessed in my life to have gotten some really nice roles, and so I wouldn't say that those weren't on my radar to do. They were, but yes, I've always had to shove music to the back because I've had other things to work on, thank God. Yeah. So it's
Hart of
nice. It's
Dixie.
nice to finally focus on this a little.
And you mentioned those roles, Hart of Dixie, and how is it getting that role? Because you were supposed to be just a one-off. So how were you able to really wow the audience to make you a
What?
regular? Because Cricket was
Yeah,
the character.
yeah, it was just supposed to be one episode, and then I think our chemistry on set was really good, the three of us, and then they just kept writing me into the shows, and then I got a name, and then I got a storyline, and it was really wonderful how that happened. It was very organic, and everybody on that show was such a dream to work with. Our executive producer Lila, she's such a wonderful creative voice, and yeah, we just had the best time.
What's your favorite moment from being on this show? Because it was so big when it came out.
Wow, there's so many. My character really takes a big leap at the end of season three. I don't want to spoil it, but there's definitely a big reveal for my character. I mean, people have seen it, so I guess I could share
You could
that.
spoil it.
Yeah, she comes out of the closet actually, and the whole season beforehand, we're teasing that my husband is probably gay.
Hmm.
So it was a real switcheroo at the end there of season three when Cricket comes out of the closet.
So,
Yeah.
and speaking of just big shows, you were able to collaborate too with this new film, Friendships with Paul Rudd. So, how was it seeing him and working with him around the set?
Oh my gosh, it was such a dream. I mean, I saw that he was going to be in the film when I auditioned for it, and I was like, oh my goodness, this would be so cool. And the fact that it was in like an anchor setting, like I would play an anchor and he a weatherman, I was like, well, wait a minute, this sounds familiar to me. The tone of the movie is obviously a little different than Anchorman was, but it was so wonderful to work with Paul, and what a dream he is. He's exactly as you would think he would be. We actually started filming right after the AFC championship between Kansas City and Baltimore. So
Okay.
I'm a Baltimore fan, obviously, and so we didn't win that game, but he is a Kansas City fan, so we had an immediate connection when I walked onto set, and we could talk about that, and yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm hoping Baltimore takes it this year because I'm tired of the Chiefs. I want to see the Ravens. I feel as though Lamar Jackson, he didn't play too well in the first couple quarters there with the turnovers. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, the tight end's got Mark Andrews. He's got to catch that 2 point conversion to put him up. So
Well, we're coming back at him this year.
yeah, I want to see the Ravens win. I'm not a big Chiefs guy, so
Yeah, I know. Well, they've had a pretty good run, so time for somebody else this year.
I agree. I really agree. And maybe they'll get you out to sing for the Ravens this year too. Maybe you can make the rounds.
Ooh, I'm hoping, and I hope they give me a game that's not so cold. So I'm
Yeah.
very heat and cold sensitive, as you can tell.
So are you out in LA now? Are you in California?
No, I'm actually in Maryland
You're in
visiting
Maryland
family.
still.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
But I
Still
go back
staying
and
home,
forth.
back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the cold weather that you got to get away from that. So that's the time to go to LA once the cold weather comes in.
Well, I like Christmas with my family, and I love fall. I love the seasons. So it's nice to be able to have the luxury of stepping into a season and then, going back to the sunshine.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what you have to do. That's how it really is. So I want to get into the early journey because this is something it started off really early for you with the stage. I think it was back in high school. Was it that your father had to measure a stage at a high
Oh, you
school?
really did your research. Yes, actually, yes. My stepfather. Yeah, he was a stagehand and he worked craft service in the Baltimore, Washington area. Actually, his first movie that he got credit on was Sleepless in Seattle, and I remember going to the theater and watching the credits and waiting for his name. So he was a big influence on me in getting me out of my shell because I was very shy, as I said. So when he went to measure the stage, he knew that I wanted to audition, but I was chickening out. You see everybody go up there, and then I started to shrink into myself. And he was like, "You're never going to forgive yourself if you don't do it." And they kind of made me do it. So I'm certainly glad that they did.
What was the some of the most early prominent roles that you think skyrocketed you to really take this to the professionals? 'Cause I know you go to NYU, then you do the Miss New York, Miss Maryland, and all that. So what were some of those early roles that you took as far as even in high school that would put you on the path to where you are now?
Well, I did Bye Bye Birdie, which
Hmm.
is a musical. And I think I felt really at home in that role. And it was the first time that I had had a lead role. And it felt really comfortable. And from there, after I got my like stage legs and felt comfortable in front of people, I was like, wow, I do this well and people seem to like it. It's not like they're booing me off the stage. Um, so that was really encouraging to me. And then it just helped me lean more and more into it and keep discovering it. So, and I think that's what being an artist is all about is kind of you have to keep it discovering your instrument and keep discovering what interests you.
Hmm. How was the first time being on Broadway?
Oh, that was, my first Broadway role was a lead in a new show. It was called A Tale of Two Cities.
Hmm.
And so I had never really had the experience of that high pressure situation because there's a lot of money on the line. And when you're creating a show that hasn't been born yet, you're making all of the decisions that every production in the future will kind of look to. So it's a huge responsibility, and there was certainly a lot of pressure. Kind of glad I didn't know what I was getting into. I actually love that kind of process, like the first discovery of learning something, the first experience of being on Broadway. That it was so high pressure. I love that I was a little ignorant to that because it was really magical. I actually got to work with really wonderful people, Warren Carlyle and yeah, a lot of theater people. Tony Walton, who was actually the set designer for Mary Poppins, the movie.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, like some really wonderful, wonderful people. So,
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
yeah.
So, would you say that you prefer the stage, or do you like being on screen? Because being on stage, you even mentioned it, it's so hard because you can't make mistakes. It's the most difficult thing in the world of acting. You can't mess up because when you're behind the screen, they give you some takes. You can make a mistake.
I think that's the funny thing about being a performer is you want to avoid the mistakes all the time,
Hmm.
but really the mistakes are where all of the gold lies. Like that's kind of the best things that you remember. You don't really remember when everything goes perfect. Like, oh, I
Hmm.
did it just the way I wanted. I was actually telling a story when I was in Mamma Mia in New York. I had I was coming into the show at a time where a lot of people were going on vacation, so the cast was changing a lot. And I turned around one day in the middle of the song called Money, Money, Money. Um, and our stage is raked like this, so we would perform on a stage that was on an incline. And so I turned around and I saw this girl. She's so beautiful, and she's now a Broadway star and like has an incredible career. And I saw her, and she's so stunning to me. I was like, "Who is this person?" And I tripped on my dress going up the stage, so I couldn't stand up, and I just kept falling on my skirt. And it was so funny. Everybody was like, kind of, the show was going on still, and we're all cracking up, and so everybody helped me up, and those are the times that I actually remember because you're not really out there on your own. You're out there with a bunch of people who are having a great time with you. And so you are supported by a cast. And yeah, that's one of my favorite memories, actually. Like it was so absurd that I couldn't get up.
Has there been an update on Mamma Mia coming back? Because I heard that you would love to be a part of it again.
Oh, I know, I did. I always said that I was like, I hope the show stays open so I can play Donna one day,
Hmm.
the mom, because I was Sophie in New York. Yeah, I think it's coming back either this year or next year. So that'll be fun. It'll be bittersweet because I'm used to my people being in the theater. So
Hmm.
I'll miss a bunch of people.
Yeah.
So it would be weird to be in the show again, I think. Yeah.
Hmm.
But I'd still welcome it.
No, I think that it would definitely make sense for sure. So once you get all the, because you get to be Miss New York and then Miss Maryland, you're competing in the pageants and everything. So this is how you get connected with your agent. So how come you didn't really take more of the modeling approach as well? Because you were winning these pageants and things like that. Was it that you kind of went full into the TV and stage work?
I think it's just because I was a singer and
Hmm.
that's where I felt the most comfortable. And like I said, I was shy, so it helped me to be able to play roles instead of having to. I think models are very experimental,
Hmm.
kind of push the envelope a lot. And so I was always much more of an in the box kind of person. That's why I always say I'm a little bit of a late bloomer because I have to peek outside of the box a little and then I come out. So yeah, that's why this is so exciting to be releasing an EP and my own ideas and my own like what's inside of me. So
Hmm. And
yeah.
it's music it comes from you personally, of course, especially with all the inspiration and stories that you mentioned that before. It's stuff that you've been dealing with for years. So who are some people that you're looking to potentially work with now that you're on this music
Oh,
journey? You looking for some collaborations here?
yeah. I mean, heck yeah. I would love to like work with Michael Bublé. I'd love to work with Mark Ronson. Do you know him? Do you know
Oh,
that?
okay, yeah, the Uptown
Yeah.
Funk, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
yeah.
love stuff. And he did the Barbie soundtrack, which is genius.
Hmm.
He just has a really great way. And he feels it. It's so good. I love it. I'd love to work with Benson Boone. I'm not sure why everybody's ragging on his new record, but I like it. Um, Bruno Mars, there's
Bruno
a whole bunch
Mars.
of yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
He's probably going to surprise us with something. We haven't heard much from him in a minute.
yeah, it's
So
been a while. It
yeah,
definitely has been. Yeah.
yeah.
Are you looking to potentially even maybe get a record deal, or is this something that you're just gonna stay independent with? You're looking at?
it's so interesting because, I never wanted to go this road on my own. I always wanted to be working in collaboration with a record company, but
Mhm.
it's been really wonderful to have to do all the jobs and to really have a hands-on approach. I don't know that I would have gotten to make the same decisions that I'm getting to make, just being an independent artist. So it's nice to be able to, especially with this EP, to put my stamp on something and to have some kind of groundwork laid. But I'm certainly open to collaborations and support in that way. So,
Mhm. So
yeah.
let's get into the new record Magic. Let's get into the story behind this one for your fans.
Yes, well, so like I said, it's kind of a song cycle. So, this is the no holds barred part where you just throw all caution to the wind and you're gonna let the night take you where it will. Um, there's it's kind of the idea of like, do we chase the magic? Do we make the magic? Is the magic just occurring? And I think for me that she's making the magic. So she's making the moment happen and the magic happen. So even though he might see it a different way, yeah,
Mm,
she's kind of in control of the narrative from the beginning. So yeah. And that's
yeah.
kind of a fun exploration for that kind of a moment for me too, because um, there's some power in that.
No, there definitely is. And this is going to be something that it's going to be releasing into the fall time here, October 17th. So, yeah, it's going to be,
I have one single a month coming out. So I'm
yeah.
already actually planning everything out for the next song, which is Electric Hearts, and that comes
Mhm.
out on July 25th.
July 25th. So, what's a little sneak peek that you can give us about the new song? What's something that you can give us is like a cliffhanger for the people to get ready for this?
So this is when the neon lights take effect. It's the we light it up is the deal. That's yeah. It's when things are going full blast.
Things are going full blast.
Yeah.
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 And speaking about things going full blast, we got to talk about this Mad Men. How was it getting on Mad Men?
That was really cool. Actually, the creator of Mad Men has a Baltimore connection as well, so that was really cool. And he's an incredible creative to put all of that together. He was meticulous in all the details. I had to go in for different hair trials for my episode. Because he just wanted to get everything super authentic. Uh, but my character actually, they didn't want her to be super specific. They wanted it to be kind of an elusive character. So every time I did the scene, they gave me different suggestions, like, "Oh, now do it as if you're a nun and you're not dressed in your nun outfit, or do this um, like you're really anxious." Or so it was really fun set to work on.
Oh, yeah. I did check out the scenes too. I saw that on there when you walk up
Yeah.
to the table. Yeah.
Yeah. And John
Yeah.
Hamm did sing Brandy, You're a Fine Girl to me, which, swoon. That's my theme song.
Yeah. So what would you say when you look back at your whole career was the most difficult audition that got you over the process of not really being afraid and taking risks? Was it something in high school early on? What was that important audition to where you just got used to it and now it's just like a walk in the park kind of?
That's
It's
not,
always
that's not
difficult.
how it goes.
Yeah.
It's never that. I think the more comfortable you get with yourself, the better it feels, because then you're gonna get in there and take risks and try to discover something. If I'm feeling super self-conscious, then it's harder for me to
Mhm.
to feel confident in an audition. But I'll never forget when I auditioned for the soap opera Passions. I was going in to play a mermaid on daytime TV. And that was a really competitive audition process. I know they saw a bunch of people in New York and LA, and they flew me out from New York, and I screen tested with like 15 other people. So that's a lot when you're talking about the one role. And so that means that they stopped production for the day and they let us each do our audition on the stage. So I had never been to California before when that process was going on. So it was so much of a whirlwind, and I had to move to California in like a week. So Yeah. But you know what? I think that's the kind of energy that I love so much is
Hmm.
like, oh, what's going to happen? And if you go into those processes with a what's going to happen attitude, especially in an audition situation, I just think that that helps.
Hmm. I
Yeah.
think you're right for sure. So how about when you get into all these roles and then we look at your advice as well, because this is something that you live by as far as not believing that you're gonna make it, that you're the one, you're already making it. You just kind of have to keep going and making it. So how did you kind of take about this philosophy in life? Because a lot of times people are like always trying to go after, oh, I need to make it and setting up all these timetables around when they make it. So I like your approach to it where you are making it and you've made it already.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's definitely a mindset that you have to work on and you have to harness, especially, I fall victim to it. Like social media, you're seeing everything good happening for everybody. You really just have to be in control of your own thoughts and your mind and also have faith. I think every audition is an act of faith. So you got to go in there and just believe it can happen. And you know what? Sometimes when you see it happening for other people, that's just evidence that it can happen for you too.
Mhm. No, it's true. What are your thoughts on social media? Do you spend a lot of time on there? Are you someone that's just
Oh,
posts once, gets off?
it used to be, I used to like, oh, I used to hate it. And it used to feel so cringe to me. But now I feel like I have a better relationship with it. And
Hmm.
I feel like I'm going on there because I have something to offer and not something to like, I'm not trying to pose. I'm trying to offer something. So I think again, it's a perspective shift. Yeah.
It is, yeah. It's tough. It's just a loophole of negativity sometimes because it brings a lot of people down and mentally.
Well, I think that's it. Like since I'm curating my own story and kind of being very intentional about how I tell it, that gives me parameters for what I want to share. It's not just willy-nilly. It's not like, I'm not confused about what I'm doing on there. Whereas I think if you don't know, like if you're sharing random things all the time, I don't know, maybe people are better at that than me. But for me, I like to go about it with like an intention.
Hmm. I think
Yeah.
that's the best way to go about it. So, what's that role that you want to portray? Is there something that you haven't done yet that you want to get to do in
Yes.
the future? Yeah.
Yes, I want to do like I'm so in love with those whodunits that are happening right now, like The White Lotus and those amazing shows. And I also would love to do an attorney show but a little quirky. I've been really into Ally McBeal lately and like those
Okay.
David E. Kelly law shows. I just love it. I think it's because in our world now we're talking about politics so much and
Oh yeah. Oh
it's hard to talk about those things, and I think some levity can go a long way.
yeah.
So that's something I'd like to do.
No, I think that would definitely work for you. What would you say is the role that you cherish most throughout your career so far? Was it Cricket?
Ooh, I mean, I guess so.
Hmm.
It's so funny. I can't really pick one of, I can't. It's like picking which family is the best family. Because I had so many wonderful experiences. I have so many best friends who were from my Passions days. I have really good friends from Hart of Dixie and wow, yeah, I can't. And even Mamma Mia, like my goodness. Frankie Grande was in Mamma Mia with me.
Wow.
Yeah, so I can't pick just one.
And he just released an album. I did see that
I know.
online.
Yeah, he's blowing up. I'm so excited for him.
Yeah. Well, you're next here. You're next to get the music going for this new
Yeah,
EP.
yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. Is there anywhere that you look forward to potentially performing or touring potentially with the EP?
Ooh, well, we're talking about some things. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to get to that part of it. I mean, this part is really fun, and now that it's part of the world, but now I'd like to kind of put it on its feet. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. How often would you go into the Baltimore Harbor with Port Discovery, and would you go there a lot at all
As a kid,
as a kid?
yeah, I mean, sometimes we would go like with school and stuff, but because I moved to New York right out of high school, I didn't spend a lot of time in Baltimore like growing up. So I try to do that now when I'm home. I try to
Yeah.
like, yeah. get the city under my skin. And Annapolis is also awesome, and DC is not so far either. So
Hmm. No,
yeah.
it's actually more. You were from Pasadena, Maryland, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
yeah, yeah. So it's like right outside of it. So it's
yeah.
yeah, that's
It's
where it
right
was
in
more
the
in
middle of
particular.
those three. Yeah.
Yeah, right
Hmm.
there. Yeah, because I was wondering if you ever had been to the fudgery within the. It was like this place to where they would like make fudge, and I know Drew Hill got discovered there. Like Cisco, they were singing like as
Oh,
kids.
that's funny.
Yeah,
No,
and
I
they
didn't
got
know
discovered
that.
there.
Oh, well, I should go hang out.
Yeah. Well, I think it closed. It closed a couple years ago, and I was like,
Oh,
wow, it closed. I remember I went when I was a kid, and I was surprised to learn that a lot of the legendary singers have gotten discovered there, and it was another outlet. But now everything's through social media now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Where are you?
I'm from New York, so
Oh, you're in New York. Okay,
yeah, yeah,
my favorite.
yeah. Oh,
My
that's your
favorite.
favorite place, and you love New
Yeah,
York.
I do love New York.
Yeah. Well, hey, you've had success here. You've been on Broadway, and I'm sure you're gonna have.
Well, it's also the energy. I just love the energy. I don't sleep well there because the energy is like pouring in my window, and I can't wait to just get on the street and just walk. I just want to walk and look at people. I want to talk to people in the coffee shops. I want to go to a bodega. I want to like I just want to go be a part of it. That's like
Wow. The
yeah, I love
bodega.
it.
Look at this. Yeah,
I love
you really want to be into the city climate. I like that.
it.
Yeah, New York.
Yeah,
New
I
York
love
is
it.
great. Yeah, there's no place like it for sure. How
Yeah.
how would you compare? Because I haven't been to California yet. That's going to be coming soon. How would you compare the two? It's two different cultures, but how would you compare the two? Because they're everyone maybe wants to go to New York or LA.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a place in my life for both. I was very anti-California when I had to move to California because I'm like, I feel like you have street cred in New York. You have to earn your space there. And
Hmm.
in California, everybody's like so important and like behind these, they're very exclusive and I like that like the subway kind of is the great equalizer. Like people are on the subway, you're going to run into people and there's accessibility in New York. So I love that. And I love that
Hmm.
people are are just available. In LA, less so, but you can find them. And LA is so beautiful, and the
All the
weather's
weather.
incredible, and the hiking is the beaches. I can't complain.
No, you can't. The best time to be out in New York is for the summer. Once the winter hits, that's when you go to LA. That's when
No,
you
no, I don't like the summer in New York. I like spring and fall. That's the best
spring
for
and
me.
fall in New York. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, once that
yeah,
cold
yeah.
weather comes, I'm just not a cold weather person anymore. It's got to get to a warmer climate.
Yeah, I used to have a route that I would take so I wouldn't have to go outside, like through the store and open, you're into this avenue and then you can go across the street and there's all these tunnels.
Yeah, and you like the subway system. That's rare to hear. That's because it's accessible. The subway system's a nightmare. I've talked to a lot of actors who are afraid of the subway.
Well, my grandmother grew up in Staten Island, so I always had a love affair with New York from that perspective too. We would always take the ferry over from when
Okay.
I was a kid. But when I went to school at NYU, my grandmother would call me every day and say, "You didn't take the subway, did you? You didn't take." I was like, I'm gonna have to take the subway. So I guess I think because it was forbidden, I like it so much now.
Yeah, you got to get your Metro North cards ready. Yeah, that place is
Exactly.
that place is oof. I've seen a lot on there. It's crazy. It still hasn't. I think it's better from what it used to be, but it's still bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, unbelievable. So, what were some of the most important things you would say you learned at NYU, or even connections that you made? Because I think you had to leave NYU once you started to get things going.
Did how you really did your research?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, the training there was wonderful. I loved that it was so immersive in the city, and you kind of had to make relationships, and it gave you just access to so many great, wonderful, talented people. I still have so many friends from that time too. So, yeah, I mean, it was a really it was just like a wonderful education for
Hmm.
sure. Yeah.
As far as the music thing now, how are you looking to really create things on your own? Are you looking to maybe potentially do your own type of musicals or something like that, even for on video style? What are some things now that you're really going into your creativity musically?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to collaborate on something like that. I certainly don't rule it out. I right now I feel like I have my hands full a little, but
Mhm.
I definitely have some things in the works, script wise, for projects I can develop, looking for investors, etc. So yeah, I'm always cooking on something, always something on the back burner.
You have to stay creative. That's how you live within the
Yeah.
mold of you've made it already. Just got to keep creating.
Yeah, you just got to keep making. And that's the thing. There's no making it. You just have to keep making.
Hmm.
It's always happening. Yeah.
It's true. I love that philosophy. I think more people have to live by that, especially when they're in with this field. You got to keep creating, keep making.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Do you have any special stories as far as meeting any musical influencers, people that you looked up to when you were younger throughout the industry?
Whew. I mean, yeah, I've had quite a few times. Wow. Which one would I pick? Musical or, well, I mean, I can say back before when I was, before like years and years ago, right out of college, I guess. Um, I met a songwriter at a BMG workshop showcase, and we wrote some songs together. And that was before he became John Legend, but he was John Legend then.
Wow.
I remember writing with him and sitting there like just mesmerized, like I can't sing that, like. Like he was so him that I was like, well, wait, it sounds better with you doing it. You should just do it. So he was he very much had his own perspective right away. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's insane. I never knew. Wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy. You were right
I mean,
there before he became John Legend.
and then when he blows up, it's like it's just amazing to see, and couldn't happen to a nicer person. So
Yeah, yeah, definitely one of the best in the industry. And now you're on your way. You're putting the music forth. So how about for visuals? Are you developing the visuals for the songs as well coming out?
yes, yes. I'm hoping a music video is in my future, but I'm still working on each single individually. So working on the visuals for content and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Let's put you into my world because I know you did Bruno Mars. So if there's a hip hop artist that you would love to do a song with, it could even be from the 90s, whatever, early 2000s. Who would you pick to do a song with?
Oh, well, like, I mean, maybe, oh, hold on. Okay. Maybe, like, I mean, I think Will Smith, but like, that's silly. Is that silly?
No, because
Or like LL Cool J or
okay,
something.
yeah. Well, Will Smith just released a new album, so he's
I
back making
saw
music.
that. I
Yeah.
know. And I was like, well, wait, I can't say him because I just saw his song came out. So
Yeah.
yeah. Um, yeah, but I really liked Macklemore when he was,
Macklemore, Ryan
yeah,
Lewis, yeah, Thrift
yeah,
Shop.
yeah. That was good. I love thrift shop and I love vintage clothing, so I really appreciated
Yeah.
it.
Big thrifter. So how about what's your favorite type of thrifts? Do you go for just all types of clothes? What's the clothes you look for when you
All
look to purchase?
types. I love just going through like a Goodwill and I love like a high-end vintage store too. But I'm usually just searching in the Goodwills for the pieces that people just didn't want to love anymore.
Mm.
Like just those hidden gems. Yeah.
What's a brand that you would love to bring back from the older years that if they were
Ooh.
to call you to revitalize it now, especially that you got the music going and everything is all about image too. So what's that brand you would love to bring back?
Oh, that's a tough one. Bring back. I feel like they didn't really go away. Um, hmm. I'll have to think about that one.
Mm.
Yeah. Do you have any?
Uh, I'm trying to think of like a brand that doesn't exist anymore. Like
Yeah.
really,
Did you wear these? Did you wear Z Cavariccis?
no,
No, that was
no.
big in my area.
Yeah, no, I
Uh,
haven't. I haven't
yeah.
more probably like I would love to bring back like I know starter releases sometimes, but the old school like starter jackets with
Yeah.
the pockets and all that. Yeah, I love those.
Yes, I remember those. That's so fun.
Yeah, yeah, I think that would probably be something I would love the Carl Can I know Carl Can I interviewed him. He does a lot of jeans and things like that. So I'd love to go out there and
Yeah.
help promote
Yeah,
that.
I would like to bring back those 80s silk tracksuits. Those were
Okay,
kind of,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, or Run
Yeah.
DMC, things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool. Everybody needs one of those. Yes.
Yeah, that's classic. Yeah, so probably the start. I think if they were to make those bulky starters again, I think that would be something that I love because I
I
have a
just
couple of those.
remember.
I thrifted some of those.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I found a couple of those ones from the 80s and 90s. Yeah, I just wish they'd bring them back, but I don't think they're
But
gonna.
it's so special that you found one and that, now you have
Yeah,
it like a treasure.
yeah,
Yeah,
it is. You
yeah,
gotta hold on to it for sure.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Brandy, is there anything else you would love to let your fans know? Anything else that we didn't cover here tonight?
Find me on Instagram and let's chat it up.
Yeah, make sure and let them know where they can follow you on Instagram so they can
Yeah, oh,
chat it
at
up.
Brandi Burkhardt. And yeah, follow me on Spotify and yeah, more music coming.
Yeah, Magic is available on all platforms now, and you got the upcoming single. Make sure you plug in the upcoming single as well. I
Yes,
know a
for
single
sure.
each month till October.
Yes, next up is Electric Hearts
Mhm.
for July 25th.
There you go, coming soon. Thank you,
Yeah,
Brandy. Shout out to Ann too. Thank you to Ann for connecting us and getting this
Anna,
set
thank
up.
you so much. Yeah,
Yeah, you're always welcome on the show anytime you want to come on and talk, especially about the new EP, anything. You're always welcome.
thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Of
Great
course.
talking to you.
Thank you. It was great talking to you as well. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Thanks, you
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Bye bye.
Great, bye.
Yeah.